Guys, man, like
Back Home Media.
hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sprout and Dusty Show. I'm your co-host, Sprout the Anti-Hero, and with me, as always, is Dusty Grant. How you doing, brother?
What's up, guys? I'm doing well, man. I'm excited to be back after 2 weeks off. I missed all you goofy bastards out there.
I missed all them goofy bastards too. I had a couple of weeks off my damn self, which is unlike me because I don't like taking time off for shit. But I
Me
had
either. Me either.
I had to.
So what have you been doing? What'd you have to do?
Well, I ended up having to move. I moved from Parker, Colorado to Oklahoma City, Norman area. It was an interesting reason, but
I know a little bit about that, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, we won't get into that. It's really painful shit.
Yeah.
But hey, how you doing tonight, Caitlin?
Caitlin, what's shaking? Guys, don't forget to start watch parties if you're just tuning in. Definitely share to groups, anything like that. Let your friends know about the show. As always, this show is brought to you by Big Fish Bail Bonds, the #1 bail bondsman in Wichita, Kansas. Serving Wichita, Sedgwick County area. You can call 316-262-4100, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have your loved ones wake up at home. Big Fish Bail Bonds, we love you. You're a great sponsor, and if you guys ever find yourself in a jam, give them a call.
Word just sucks.
So how is Oklahoma so far? Are you getting settled in down there?
Yeah, I'm getting settled in okay. It's been cool to be closer to people I actually know.
You're back in the pipeline, baby. You're back in the pipeline.
Yeah, I went to go see Brandon Hadenough perform in Oklahoma City a couple of nights ago. It was Wednesday night. Yeah, a couple nights ago. It was really good, man. Cool live hip hop. You know, I haven't seen much live music at all, so they're performing down here, so that's good. Whereas bars really weren't open where in Colorado where I was at. I mean,
Oklahoma's pretty much just blasted wide open right now, right? I mean, it's just whatever.
There's places and things where there's ordinances going on. People are still wearing masks and things like that.
Okay.
I haven't seen much of anything being enforced or anything like that. It's not like it seems like people are being a little bit more responsible on when they go out, how much they go out.
And so when you
go out
do you know if the numbers in Oklahoma are rising, or have you looked at that stuff, or like I don't know about you?
No, I haven't looked at it, and the only reason I haven't looked at it is I barely go anywhere. But
yeah.
I think whatever it is, it doesn't matter to most here.
Okay.
The way they act and the way they're going about life, it really doesn't matter to most here.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. When I was up in Durango, I went up there for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It was like mandatory every single place you went. Everybody had a mask on.
Yeah.
Everything was heavily enforced there. Like they wouldn't even let you in places and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's
the record store I went to was like that before the state even made it mandatory for masks to be worn in public places and businesses. I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm only going to be there for 20 to 30 minutes looking through records anyway. What's this freaking mask? You know, it's no big deal with me. But you know, they're doing what they got to do, and they've been able, I know for a fact, to keep things kind of calm down in Colorado. You know, that just some places are a little bit more hard-headed, and if I can even say ignorant than others.
yeah, that's very true.
That real. I mean, you know, hey, what's going on, Rico? You doing all right, brother? All right.
I know the circumstances may not have been the greatest, but I know in a selfish way, I'm pretty glad that you're back. You're only a couple hours away from me now, so we can kick around. we can kick shit up when the Midwest gets a little more opened up. I know we got some shows we want to talk about and stuff tonight. This is a Q&A tonight, guys. If you guys have any questions for us that you want us to answer, please post those in the comments here. We'll get to all the questions that we possibly can. We wanted to get back after 2 weeks with no guests to just do kind of a Q&A and let you guys know what we've been up to. We'll pick up with the guests again, of course. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely ask. But I'm looking forward to kicking shit up with you, dude. When things get opened up and everything's going good again, we can get the pipeline striking from Omaha on down to Texas.
We've even talked about doing a podcast tour.
Yes.
And I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun to me, and we have some ideas, of course, with Back Home Media, their personnel, on how to make a documentary about it, perhaps, do a little filming and do live podcasts and live streams every night from these locations. So it's something that we are working on. We're still planning on going up to Omaha and hanging out with Matt Frampton in October, aren't we?
Yeah, I actually talked to Matt the other day, and he was asking about this, and I didn't get a chance to discuss this with you, so I guess we'll discuss it now.
Why not?
not to put you on the spot or anything. But he said that I think the dates we were considering going up there and doing the live broadcast. There's actually I believe it's a barbecue competition in Omaha. He was talking about maybe Friday night we cook a pizza, do a podcast, and then maybe Saturday we go compete, get to hang out while they compete and barbecue. And
I'm so game for that, bro.
Yeah, I thought that sounded awesome, and I'll get with him to try and kind of hash out the details. And as we get closer to that, but yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up. So if you guys have any ideas like that, or any crazy things you guys want to see us try,
yeah, because there's nothing we like more than drinking beer with you guys on the internet. Like, we need another excuse to have fun with you guys on the internet.
It's pretty much what we do now. We're all trapped into our little pods here, so now we might as well make it fun.
For sure, man. So how was your trip to Durango, man? How was it? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was good. We went to Mesa Verde. We went to the Pagosa Springs. I laid in a hot spring. Okay. It was 109 degrees, and it was crazy. We were on this river, and there's a little pool, and then about a foot away is the river. So it's just a little pool off the side of the river. The river itself was about 70 degrees when I swam in it. And so that's pretty cold.
That's all right.
A foot away, you get in the hot spring and it's 109 degrees, and it's like pretty much melting your skin when you get, but it's like all these minerals and all this stuff. And it felt like a really hot tub, but they said to get in there. So me and Evelyn both got in there, and
making natural human soup in that bitch, man.
Yeah. My wife took a picture of me, but I'm way too white to be putting that picture on the internet. I look like a beach whale laying in that thing, so I didn't post it up. But I mean, I practically glow in that motherfucker, man. I'm so not tan. But yeah, we did a ton of walking around, a ton of hiking. We tried to stay away from people for the most part. We stayed in a pretty cool historic hotel.
All right.
We had a pretty good time. It was, it was really smoky up there. So we both had a little trouble with elevation and stuff like that, which is something strange that I'd never encountered before.
But in case you guys don't know, there's a series of wildfires going on in Colorado right now, and pretty much the western half of the United States, I believe. There's a series of wildfires everywhere.
Yeah, and like we noticed it when we were there. You could see the haze. It was old, and there is a lot of truth to that, sir. There's a lot of truth. Yeah, we other than the huffing and puffing and the little bit of lung thing that we got from the smoke there, it was great. Honestly, the best thing about being in Colorado, Stephanie chimed in with a good question. I would say the best thing about being in Colorado was just getting out there and hiking and being able to get away from everybody. It was a little busier than I thought it was going to be, actually, and especially Mesa Verde. Like we spent a lot of time there just because it's a really beautiful place and we wanted to see everything. But it was super busy there. I thought it was going to be a little more remote. Like Durango was slammed every single night, weeknight, weekday.
Mm-hmm.
It was
they're outdoorsy there.
Yeah.
If you live in Colorado, it's all about the activities you do outdoors because you don't have scenery like it anywhere else in the country. You know.
Yeah, so and the weather's amazing. I mean, it's like 85, and it was 85 and cool and sunny for most of the time we were there. So
it's mild all year long.
Yeah,
I mean, it's very rare when it got really hot there, but
yeah,
it's just a nice place to be all year round, and people are outside, and that's just what they do. That's the lifestyle there. I remember one of the few times I went camping in Colorado, it was just like you think there's enough wilderness to not see anybody, but you see a whole bunch of people. Love you too, Hugo. What's up, man?
We've got somebody asking what the tips are for a first-time hiker. I think, you might be able to answer that question better than me. I'm an
avid hiker.
I love to hike and I love to go out and I love to get around. But I think honestly, one of the biggest mistakes I made this time when I got to Colorado, I don't think I drank enough water. I think when I got up to that high elevation and when I got to where I was exerting myself physically, it ended up being like a law of diminishing returns. My situation seemed to kind of worsen as the trip went,
right?
Because the elevation was bugging me and I was dehydrated the whole time, and then I was just kind of trying to catch up. So yeah, you probably have better advice than that. All I would tell you is drink a ton of water.
The first few months I lived there, I couldn't drink enough water. Did you ever see that movie, The Faculty?
Yes.
That old sci-fi movie from '98.
Yeah.
You had like some famous actors, and you had some teeny actor with this cowlick on his head.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah,
right?
the cowlick dude. Anyway.
Yeah.
But like all these aliens just sitting back drinking water. Like that's how I was for like the first 3 months living in Colorado. I could not drink enough water. But you want to talk about hiking situations? First off, don't think you got to go to Colorado and go hiking up some mountains and you don't really leave your couch. I suggest you get in shape first while you're drinking the water. That really helps. You know, it's good to go out hiking, but make sure it's something that you can actually physically do. There's plenty of nice, easy trails in Colorado. You may not be in the mountains, but you'll be around them things. You won't stress yourself. You know, I've done week-long hikes. I've been hiking for months. You know, it's just ain't no joke out in the wilderness. Wear pants. You know, don't think just wear shorts because I don't like pants. Well, guess what? You could be stuck up there and it will get cold quick in the altitude. So be equipped when you go up there. I tell people that all the time. They just, so Hugo's asking, when's y'all's next performance or still laying low? Hugo, I am happy to announce that I will be playing a show next Thursday night in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I decided to start booking shows again because honestly, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And, and I want to play. I know. And I want to play shows right now. And I really feel the need to see my friends and family on the road. It's something I didn't have for almost the last year and a half. Pretty much the last year and a half. So I just need to be out there, and there are places that are willing to have me, and I'm glad to be going there. So Thursday, I'm playing in Tulsa at Badass Renee's. I'll be playing all night long. It's just me solo. So if you guys get thirsty there in Tulsa on Thursday night, come in, have a drink. Friday night, I'll be at this bar in Ark City, Kansas called One More. I'll be playing all night, just me, all-nighter. So show up there if you can, have you some drinks. And then Saturday, the 5th, I will be at the Elbow Room in Wichita, Kansas, playing for my hometown. So that's going to be fun. And with me that night will be Cody Moore, up-and-coming guy, singer-songwriter in Wichita, Kansas. You guys will love him.
Good old Cody Moore.
Good old Cody Moore.
So you have 4 shows in the next week, basically?
So I have a show booked on my birthday on September 12th, Saturday, September 12th, in Kansas City, Missouri at the Scene Rock Bar. So that should be a lot of fun. I haven't spent a birthday in Kansas City in a few years now.
Well, man, yeah, you're hitting all the spots in the Midwest. The gig. And
Right.
Buana from Rise Again and Shane Harper from Rise Again will be joining me on stage to accompany me for my set. That's an all ages show. But yeah, I've never played the Crown Uptown before. Never been in the Crown Uptown before.
It's a beautiful place, man.
Heard it's amazing. Really, so I was, I'm just kind of chomping at the bit to play that one, and then after that, I'm just going to kind of wait and see, what opportunities arise and that type of thing. I'm super reluctant to get too aggressive booking, just because everything is so fickle right now. Everything is so volatile, and like Hugo asked the question, but I know I've seen even in the last couple weeks or so. I think Ether has had to cancel a few shows like within a week of them happening and stuff like that. So he knows how hard it is right now. So yeah, I know Ether's out there trying to grind too. They got new material out that they want to sell and all that type of stuff. But yeah, he's talking about getting us out to Dodger Garden City, and
man,
we are game, Hugo.
Western Kansas has always had appreciative audiences because they don't get that much out there unless they're doing it themselves. So like when people come in from the outside that they really support and love, they show up full force. So Western Kansas, they always got love and respect for me. I got people there. I got family there, man.
I've always had like ever since I started playing solo a couple years ago. The first time I went out there was for this Halloween party, and then we just kind of went to the well a few times there, and then the next couple times I played out, and the next couple times I played out there, everybody was super welcoming. So yeah, Hugo, just let us know, man. When stuff gets open, if stuff is open, just hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up, man.
Man. Maybe we can do an Ether, Sprout, and Dusty show collab podcast prior to the show. See, the promotional wheels are already turning, fellas.
What venue? Oh, Kent William asks, what venue are you most excited to get back to? Oh, man. What venue am I most excited to get back to? I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be great to get back home to the Elbow Room in Wichita, Kansas. Home is where my heart is, and Kenny has been a part of my life and my career for many, many years now. I wouldn't have played like 2/3 of the shows I played in that town had it not been for one Kenny Ballinger being there. So I always have that loyalty to him.
I mean, yeah, I know I'm an unoriginal bastard, but
right.
That's my answer too. I've told Kenny, I'm like, man, if you get anything you think I'd fit good on here as things go forward, definitely let me know. But yeah, Elbow Room would be my first too. That's just a place, man. It just feels like home. Just feels like home.
And I've played in many other spots where I feel like home too, across the Midwest, the West. I mean, I've played in so many spots. Like every time, no matter what's open in West Texas, I'm having fun there some way, somehow. I've had a lot of fun times, doing private events. I've done private events for, some of the hippies, the Texas Hippie Coalition crowd. I've done some weddings and some things where, it's just fun going to Hippie Hollow and playing shows for people and having a good time. And I played some weddings, and I played a wedding a few years ago at a place called Deerfield, I believe, Deerfield, Kansas. Somewhere way out west, I think past Garden City. I was like, whoa. And it was a cool wedding. There's a whole bunch of people that had this badass taco bar, I remember.
That sounds like my kind of wedding, man. Taco bar.
Yeah. The taco bar was dope.
Hey, will you play this show? I'm not sure we have a taco bar. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, if I get free taco bar, you can count me in. I'm pretty easy, man. We had like the second tour we did, we ate a lot of tacos. That was like the taco. That was like the taco tour. And the tour we did before that one was like the protein tour.
Yeah, we ate a lot. I think we ate like half a cow that week.
Man, I am still like having the meat sweats from that tour.
I get the meat sweats thinking about that.
I got gout just thinking about that. Candace wants to know if we have any hints on upcoming guests to the podcast. Yes, we do have some guests in the hopper. We actually have Hold on, I got a little list here that I put together. I'm not going to tell you who any of these people are, but I will allude to some things that they do. We have some other podcasters that are going to come on. Guys that have their own shows, guys that have their own radio shows. Actually, we've got a Chicago radio personality coming soon. We've got some jiu-jitsu black belts. We've got some jiu-jitsu podcast guys. We got some fighters. We got musicians that, signed musicians that have big records out right now.
Still rescheduling marijuana grower and enthusiast Michael Howard, actor.
yeah. I mean, we do have some cool ideas in the hopper, and we've got a libertarian politician that's also a bare knuckle fighter. He's going to come on, so he's got an interesting story. So we got a few interesting guests that are going to come on and hopefully mix it up, and hopefully they'll stay on brand with what you guys have come known to.
Right. The show's doing fairly well, and we just want to keep a good stream of interesting guests, and hopefully we don't get too boring for you. I mean, contrary to popular belief, Sprout the Anti-Hero could be one boring motherfucker. I really can.
I can too, man. It's hard. Sometimes people think that when they get in, they line up to do a podcast. I think a lot of people think it's just going to be cake. And you know what? For the first couple, and I don't know if you feel this way, but for the first couple, for me, it was cake. You know what I mean? We had a lot to talk about. We had a lot of stories to tell. We had a lot of like fire and gumption, but now that we've been doing it consistently for such a long time, it's like, all right, now we got to stretch our shit out here a little bit. We got to stretch our brains. We got to come up with the content. We got to keep the conversation flowing. We got to keep it exciting. And now I feel almost this little bit of pressure. It's like with the guests, it's like, man, who do we go for next? I don't want to disappoint everybody, because we do have people that tune in regularly, and those people that are listening, we love you. But yeah, we trust us. We don't want to disappoint you. We definitely don't.
I remember the first time I met somebody, they were actually disappointed.
It happens to me all the time.
For real. It's like they looked at me and they're like, oh, that's Sprout the Anti-Hero. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, I was like, damn.
What, you think I'd be bigger? What's the deal?
Yeah, like, you want me to take your wallet? I mean, what the fuck? Jeez. But yeah, it's just that type of deal when you try and keep consistently busy and things like that, and you don't think everybody knows who you are. And I'm by no means some large celebrity or something like that. I'm nobody somebody should be automatically recognized on the street. But there are people that have been seriously unimpressed by meeting.
Me too, man. Me too. If I had a nickel for every time someone was disappointed by meeting me after hearing me or something like that, man,
I don't even feel bad for him.
I don't either. I don't feel bad for him either. That's part of that getting older thing that Kent went back to. Kent was saying how old we're getting, and as I get older, man, I just don't.
Thank you, James.
Give a shit. Thanks, James. Even though we're getting older, James still thinks we're sexy. So I mean, we got that going for us. So screw everybody who doesn't like it.
As long as James loves us, it's all that matters.
That's right. But yeah, man, it's been a trip trying to keeping this thing going, and it's kind of manifested into its own animal here, and it kind of takes shape as we go, and we're learning as we go, and it's been pretty fun. To learn with you on this show, man. That's for sure.
I know, and one thing that's kind of gone by the wayside is my actual interaction on Facebook. Like, because of this podcast, I have a reason to actually get off the internet in order to get back on it. So
yeah, definitely.
Like, what I make sure, like, every week, regardless of who we have on the show or what we're doing, I make sure that that I research our guests, that I research the subjects and topics that we're talking about, because a lot of the things that our guests have to tell me and Dusty, I don't know. And I am there as a student to learn from our guests. So I do put in quite a bit of work every week to get, things ready for the show. And also just been involved in other people's podcasts and Back Home Media. Man, there's some talent on that, man. Like Back Home Media. You guys get a chance, man. Check that shiz out.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Back Home Media is our producer, and they host the show. There's a ton of other shows like the Ether Podcast, the Easy Out Podcast, Free in the Free Zone with Norm. There's just so many shows. I can't even name them all, but there's so many talented, awesome people that are willing to help out. So if you haven't checked out Back Home Media, you need to do that now.
And there's certainly a podcast on there. There's on the roster for everyone. So certainly got everything covered. So check out Back Home Media when you guys can.
So I guess Buana must be watching. She says meat sweats are sexy.
Well,
I don't believe that. I don't think Buana believes that. I don't think if I had meat sweats and I was in her presence that she would think that was sexy in any way, shape, or form.
Backdoor Media. Whose ass you holding the camera on, James?
Did I say backdoor? I didn't. Did
I say backdoor?
Did one of us say backdoor? Or
I don't know.
Or do we just have a jokester over there in the comments? I hope I didn't say backdoor. See, I knew it, Juan. I know you're not going to be impressed by meat sweats.
Hey, Adam and Eve and Vivid are the kings of like backdoor media. I mean,
we'll leave that to them. We will leave that to them.
Juana goes, no.
It always takes a turn towards the gutter, doesn't it?
It does. Oh man, but yeah, I've been on a unfriending binge.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yes. And what's funny is that people seem to think I have an actual criteria for deleting someone.
Mm-mm.
And I do not. That would imply that I discriminate. And I do not. If you're a piece of shit, then that's
Bye.
it. And basically the people I have been deleting aren't people I just see something out of and get upset about. I'm upset at these people every fucking day, so I should probably just not see them.
That's what's been happening to me too, man. I know you. Buana saying she just purged 1,500 people from her friends list. I was getting up there towards the max for a while there, and I went through and I dropped like 3,500 people off my list. And man, my social media is a lot more enjoyable now.
You know, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, you know, and I don't need to hear from them all, I guess. And it's not even that my opinions differ from somebody else's, man. An asshole is just gonna be an asshole. Man, James, you ain't going, man, sit down, man. Sit down. You ain't going nowhere. Just sit down. Anyway, I don't do that, man. I don't sit there and say because you think this or believe in this, I'm unfriending you. No, I'm unfriending you probably because you're an asshole or you're fucking racist or you're just ignorant, plain out ignorant. You know, I am tired of going on the internet and seeing people talk about shit they couldn't possibly have been interested in before.
Well, you get these people. Like I know that I haven't I guess I've seen so much political stuff on there that I'm so sick of it. Like I don't want to get on there and see that. And if you're one of those people that's all you post, I mean, I don't mind if you post your opinion or a political thing every once in a while. Everyone has that right. That's part of life. Everything, it's cool. But if you're one of those people that's just constantly beating the Donald Trump thing, constantly beating the Biden thing, whatever the topic may be, if all the posts I see and that's all I think of that's associated with your name, bye.
That's it.
I unfriend your ass, unfollow you. If it makes political sense for me to still be friends with you, but I don't like your point of view, I'll just unfollow you like a ninja. You won't even know.
Real. Like you won't even know. Like you might not give a fuck about Sprout's posts anyway, but at least you know you ain't got to worry about me not seeing it, or I got to worry about you. You didn't care to begin with. I mean, there's people I know that didn't care about the black community. They just have something to say because they want to bitch. And I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to say this one more time. If you are constantly complaining and bitching about things, and you're vehement about what you're standing up for, go out there and make a difference. Because if you're just sitting there bitching on the internet, it's as such, you are a bitch. That's it.
Doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't mean shit. All you're doing is running your mouth.
Well, these people have like this thing where I think they feel like they're like a leader or an authority of some sort on Facebook, on some political.
These people can't protect a warm cup. These people can't protect a warm cup of piss. Are you serious?
It's so bizarre to me.
I saw a post from somebody the other day talking about how Donald Trump is doing more than any president to prevent pedophilia. When the person making this post, I know, can't even keep their fucking daughter inside their house after dark.
Yeah.
Away from drugs, away from young boys that do this crazy shit to her. I hope they're watching. They know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck them hoes.
Well, maybe you should. Make sure they keep their house in order.
Absolutely.
Get your shit together first.
Sweep around your own front door before you sweep around somebody else's. Everybody wants to try and tell somebody how to live, man. And people don't like arguing with me because I don't believe in their politics, or I don't believe in their gods, or I don't believe in their systems. They don't want to think about themselves as human beings. They don't want to make themselves that basic. Everybody seems to feel the need to be superior to somebody else, if not in monetary gain and thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't even know what actual intelligence is anymore.
It's very rare now that if I post, every once in a while, I'm guilty of it. I do fumble, and I will let down my guard for a second, and I might post something that's quasi-political. Or I might reply to something that I see someone say on there that I feel like, you know what, man, fuck this. I'm gonna go out this dude with this bullshit opinion of his and see what he really stands for. Every time I do that, man, I regret it. Every single time. I'm like, you know what I should have done? I should have put my phone down, and I should have gone and jumped on the trampoline with my kids. That's what I should have done. I should have put my phone down and played the guitar. I should have put my phone down and gone and talked to my, and like
you would have got more out of life that way.
In a million times, and I'm trying to get better about the screen time, because I feel like the way the world is now, the screen time is becoming more and more important to people, and people are getting more and more reliant on it and more comfortable being in a world with this cell phone in their hand, where there is no possible way that you are going to have to face those repercussions in person, or you're going to have to account for anything that you just said to somebody in a real setting. Because on the internet, it's okay for anybody to say any type of thing. And I think people are getting a little bit bitch made in that regard, because I've had a few people say some stuff to me, and you know what I'm talking about, that if they would have said that shit to me in person, like the way I've been disrespected by a couple people that I thought I was friends with in the last couple months or so, man, that might not have panned out so well in person. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm some badass or I'm some bully or anything like that, but I certainly would have made that person stand up and help take accountability for what they had to say. There's the big fish himself. I will put that phone down and come have a beer with you, neighbor. Don't you worry.
I mean, like, there's people that I have been close to for years, and I now know what they are.
Yeah.
And I'll never talk to them again. And it has nothing, like I said, once again, has nothing to do with their politics, has nothing to do with their religion, has nothing to do with their color or anything thereof, but just as they are as people and the content of their character. And I know the content of my character hasn't been always the best, but you know what? I made strides in my life to better that. What kind of people should one be surrounded by once they get a certain age? How old is too old for bullshit?
Yeah.
I know a lot of grown folks into some strange stuff, man. And it's just like nobody wants to just break things down into its most simplest anymore. And I'm just tired of that. And there's things I don't have to see, and there's things I don't have to hear.
Yeah, and that is a great thing about it. You can just turn them off. I mean, you don't have to look at it.
You know what I'm looking at? I look forward to Derek Campbell's bass fishing pictures.
Same.
And I look forward to Buana's chicken fried steak crusade, man. That's been awesome. Yeah. Those are the types of things I want to see. I want to see what you're doing if you're hiking, or I want to see what record you're listening to, Right.
or whatever it is, man. Those are the people that I, what are my artist friends up to? What are my comedian friends up to? What are my chef friends up to? What are my financial analyst friends up to?
We know all kinds of people, and we've befriended all kinds of people to where our lives don't have to be so boring. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason we went out into the world instead of, I hate using this term, but keeping it normal. I've just never have done that. I've never been traditional.
It seems like this episode is kind of starting to take a coming of age type vibe, as you get a little older. But you said it best. You're like, man, I'm getting a little bit too old for this bullshit. I mean, it's kind of weird to me that a 40-year-old man occupies his day posting political shit that he doesn't even know is true on a social media site. That seems like a very immature lifestyle for a grown-ass man to be having. And I post on social media, and I'm on social media more than I probably should be. I mean, I'm guilty of it just like anybody is. But man, I see some people that post 25 times a day. You know what I'm saying? People that
I got an old bandmate, and it's sad as fuck if you want my opinion on this. I got an old bandmate. I won't say some names. One of the greatest drummers I've ever fucking seen in my life. He'd much rather fucking sit on the internet and post theories. I can't even call them conspiracies because I really don't give a fuck, but they're theories nonetheless. He'd much rather do that than enjoy his life with his skills as a musician. Like that bothers me a whole lot, because there's just more to life than what we might think we're fighting for. We don't even know the truth about anything. I'm talking about anything. And that's why I don't argue with people. Whatever happened to the days, this is talking about coming of age. What happened to the days where, like, when people genuinely didn't know somebody or know something, it was okay to say, you know what? I don't have the answer. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever happened to that type of humility? Whatever happened to being humble and just being like, you know what, homie? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you have to argue with you to know if it's true or not. People don't believe in dialogue anymore. They believe in memes. It's really hard to talk to an actual adult anymore, Dusty.
I feel like it is way less though in person. I feel like when I'm sitting at when I'm at a concert, or I'm at a bar or a restaurant, or I'm out with friends, or I'm at a birthday party or a barbecue or whatever the heck it might be, I mesh well with different types of people. I have no problem with different types of people of different races, creeds, religions, races, whatever it might be, political perspectives, all that type of stuff. I mean, I feel like I've got a pretty diverse group of friends, and I rarely ever see anybody calling each other this or that or the other thing, or running somebody's spouse down, or saying really disrespectful shit in those types of places. Whereas it's so easy to just type it. And like, you're right, man. I think a little more humility would go a long way. That's for sure.
But nobody gives a fuck about that. And I wish they did. Everybody, like we talked about how people, hey, how you doing? Yeah, social media did happen.
It did.
I'm not saying people shouldn't have a voice, because there's times where our voices are necessary. But somebody asked me the other day what really bothers me about what's going on today. And I said the fact that people, the information is out there, but there's just so much misinformation. But people don't want to seem so different from the next, and they always want to be on the side that's right, whatever that is anymore. Do we even know what the fuck that is anymore?
No, because I'm not. Dude, are you even sure? Are you even sure that the information that you're gathering or anything from anywhere is the right information? Like, do you have any faith in any of the reporting or news or any of that type of stuff that you're seeing these days? Like,
in response to your question, audience, take notice. Dusty, I don't know.
Exactly. Wow.
Rather than to say it's so-and-so's fault, or these people over here did this, I don't know, Dusty.
Well, that's the thing. It's like people are so sure of something, but they don't even know if the data or the information that they're getting is accurate or correct or anything like that. I mean, dude, I like even with this whole virus shit, I was in contact with somebody who's a close friend of mine. He wasn't feeling well. He went to get tested. He put his name in. He stood in the line. The line was very long, I guess. Him and his wife were both not feeling well, so they both signed up to get tested. The line was too long. They decided it was too long. They quit. So they said, screw this. We're not getting the test. They got back in their car. They went home, and they received positive test results for both of them, and they told them both to quarantine mandatorily for 14 days because they both had coronavirus, which they had never actually even been tested for.
Wow.
What does that tell you, man? Like, I understand there's going to be screw ups, but I think there's a lot of screw ups going on out there. And I think a lot of people are basing their opinions off of news that might not be so reliable.
I mean, it really sucks for somebody like me that does not have a dog in these fights.
I don't either.
I know these things are trivial to me. I know these are things that matter so much to so many people. I can't say it's unimportant in general, but I know these things are unimportant to me. And I've always said, I already know society hates my ass. I already know this. I already know there aren't things in my favor when it comes to the system in this country. I know this. I do whatever I can to live my life, though. I never had to trip over anybody else. I never had to call anybody else out of their name. I never had to instill fear into people with conspiracy theories and memes. I never did it. I never lived my life to the best of my ability by being xenophobic. I never lived my life to the best of my ability by being an asshole to people and not having the empathy that it takes to be on this planet anymore. Now, there are some people I do not have empathy for. Trust me. And those are usually people that hurt children or the elderly. That's usually where I draw the line. But people don't care about respect anymore. It's always about, I feel like people are picking something other than football teams and basketball teams to worship and be shitty to each other over. Political parties are the new football team, guys.
Yeah. They pretty much are. I mean, it's just
it's a new sport, guys.
I don't think that anybody that has a lot going on in their life and a lot of things that they want for themselves and for their families and that they want to work towards have the time to be disrespectful and to elicit those types of behaviors. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, man, I don't have time in my day to research some political information that fits my agenda and to ram it down people's throats on Facebook all day and to argue in the comments for hours at a time. I can't research for this show. I can't do graphic design for the show. I can't promote for the show. I can't be with my kids. I can't be with my wife. I can't practice my music. I can't rehearse. I can't write. I can't watch
season 1 of Cobra Kai if I did that.
You know, dude, I watched it today.
I watched that shit today too, homie.
I binged the entire first season today.
Oh, me too,
dude. I am in love. I love that show.
You know what? I wouldn't have said this in '84 when I saw this movie, but man, Johnny Lawrence is my hero. Fuck it.
The way that they tied the movies into this series, and then they left out the crappy Karate Kids too.
Yes.
You know, they didn't have the Jaden Smith one. They didn't have the other Karate Kid one with the girl. Or I don't remember which one that was.
My favorite part in season 1. Spoiler alert for all you.
Spoiler alert.
There we go.
It's been out long enough. It's been out long enough.
You'll see it. But my favorite part of season 1 is when Johnny was sitting there with his student telling him the story about how he met Daniel LaRusso. And if anybody knows anything about the pop culture history of the Karate Kid, there is this thesis written by this gentleman who puts Daniel as the aggressor instead of Johnny. And they use this theory in the show. You guys just have to watch it. It's freaking. I died. No, he's like,
And
Johnny was such an innocent guy.
well, and then the first episode where I think it was the first episode when they finally run into each other. It's like, oh, this is the guy that, you stole my girl. And he's like, well, she wasn't really your girl. Like, that, I mean, I just started
Still
watching.
Clowning, dude. Yeah. All the years, like clowning, like, wow.
I loved it. I didn't want to gloss over the cryptocurrency question, but the Karate Kid, the Netflix Karate Kid came, and man, I absolutely love it. That's one of my favorite movies of all time when I was a kid. As a martial artist, and I mean, it was just such a cool movie, and it was targeted at guys our age. You know what I mean?
But this is what's crazy. I normally do not watch television programming or series in general, let alone a series involving teenage kids. I like adult entertainment.
Yeah, me too.
I'll watch some porn and gore and horror and real death on the internet. That's my entertainment.
Fights, shit like that,
and some basketball.
Yeah, sports.
That type of thing. Mixed martial arts sometimes. That's my entertainment. But this is a series where it depicted young kids having a life, and I'm sitting there watching this without a problem for the first time ever in years.
Man, it is really well done. I'm shocked by how well done it is, man. I as a fan of that show, that could not have got better. And to my knowledge, there's 2 seasons out, right? And they're going to make more. Yeah,
they're okay. So initially, this series came out on YouTube. And YouTube, I think it was YouTube Prime or Premium.
They wanted you to pay for it, though, right?
Right. So
that's why I haven't seen it, because I'm cheap.
As an incentive to, well, who needs another streaming program or streaming subscription? So as an incentive to subscribe and pay for a subscription, they started developing, like Amazon, their own series, their own documentaries, films, things like that. And that was the big one that they were using to market to people to get them to pay for this streaming service.
Right.
Well, I mean, it didn't take off like it should. And they had apparently this really good television show, that nobody was seeing because they didn't want to pay YouTube any more money, And so they made a deal with Netflix. They're working on a season 3 right now as we speak. And the first 2 seasons are online today.
They're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think I'm like in the second or third episode into the second season now.
I'm on the first episode of the second season, but my aunt is here, and she's probably in her 60s, and she started watching it with me. you should have seen us both, man. By the time my wife's like 6 hours later, I'm still laying there in my sweatpants. I'm like, this show is amazing.
Hey, it's a good show, man.
And I kept watching it, and she's like, no, you're gonna pause it. And she's like, because you're not watching any of this until I get back. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll wait. But it's awesome. I'm super stoked to watch the second season.
It's been a long time since I saw a show to where I have to pause it between pee breaks. That's special to me, because I don't take anything seriously when it comes to television or films. But it really is well done. So if you guys, instead of talking that bullshit on the internet, check out Cobra Kai on Netflix.
Hell yeah, it'll do you some good. There's another question about what's your favorite drink of choice during the quarantine: beer versus hard liquor.
Oh shit, man!
What's your go-to?
I don't discriminate. But I've been drinking like usually during quarantine, a lot of tequila, and I drank a lot of Coors and a lot of Modelo and a lot of Dos Equis. Now, since I moved to Oklahoma, I've been drinking Mickey's every night. Mickey's malt liquor. Yes.
In grenade form or in 40-ounce form?
I'm a big kid. I can drink a full glass. So it's usually a couple of 40s. I mean, like a couple of 40 ounces of Mickey's. I'm still looking good. I still ain't put on no weight. I'm good. But I've been drinking Mickey's. How about you, Dusty? What you been putting down?
My biggest thing has been rye whiskey. I've been drinking a lot of I've been making a lot of old fashions. Mm-hmm. My wife found these like really fancy cherries. I don't even know what they're called. So that tells you how much of a moron. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, these are really fancy. I
have a wife with class, Dusty.
I do. I do. You tell me how I landed that. I have no idea. But yeah, man,
she's gonna teach you some things.
She found those cherries, and I've been making some old fashions, man. That's been my go-to. That's been my drink of choice for sure.
That's what's up, man.
Way more than anything else. Way more than anything else.
What y'all been drinking out there? White Claw, seltzer water, what?
Crown Peach and water. What's the water for?
Yeah, what is the water for?
You don't need water.
Oh, yeah, you do. If you're drinking Crown Peach. Now, I had Crown Maple when it came out. It tastes straight up like IHOP. Pancake syrup, like a motherfucker, right? And then I tried the Crown Apple, and then which it tasted like an alcoholic Jolly Rancher. Apple Jolly Rancher. And then I tried this Crown Peach. That stuff is so sweet. You will need a little bit of water.
You need water just to dilute the.
That's the only reason I think, because its stuff is sweet. Like, and I don't do sweet too much, but a little bit of water to help balance that out for sure. You still get fucked up, but cut down on the sweetness.
Is that a Schlitz reference we have there?
Who's talking about some Schlitz? I got a Schlitz story real quick.
Schlitz. Give me some of that Schlitz.
Oh, man.
I've drinking my Schlitz. I'm not afraid to admit I will drink Schlitz.
Man, I remember Billy D. Williams used to do those Colt 45 commercials.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg did those Schlitz malt liquor commercials that you saw on BET back in like the mid 90s. Them things was dope, you know.
Dude, I had a friend that broke in. There was a Budweiser plant near where I went to high school. Mm-hmm. And I had some friends that broke into the Budweiser plant, and they stole a bunch of St. Ides, like the fruit flavored St. Ides. Yeah. And then, they were all the different flavors, and man, we drank those for like a whole summer, and I couldn't even look. I can't even look at it now. It's so bad. But man, back then we thought we were the shit.
Oh man, me and my homies went on a camo kick. Remember that crap?
Yeah, I've had camo.
They didn't want to market it as malt liquor, but they call it high gravity lager. All right, man, the density of that shit. If you can get past the first 6 or 7 sips, you'll be all right. But man, that's like drinking liquid bricks.
Yeah, you gotta. The first few drinks, you just gotta kind of drink those to numb yourself to it, because once you get past that, like Mickey's is the same for me. Once I chug the first grenade, I can drink Mickey's all night long. But that first one usually takes me. I got to stretch my shit out a little bit with that first one.
Well, here's my secret and trick to drinking Mickey's. Now, for starters, Mickey is some really nasty stuff to choke down when it's warm or getting warm. It's skunky as hell, and you don't like it. The trick is make sure it's cold as hell. So when I get a 40 ounce, I'll put it in the freezer for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Because that way it'll be ice cold. You ain't got to worry about it. And you ain't got to worry about it freezing up on you if you keep your eye on it. I mean, it'll stay cold outside of the freezer for a good 30 minutes. But I drink 40s relatively fast anyway. I'll drink a 40 ounce in about 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long.
It's still ice cold, though. But that's how I like to drink my Mickey's.
I like to drink Mickey's.
And Mickey's, to me, is the malt liquor that tastes the most like beer.
Well, my jiu-jitsu coach Fox, you know Jake Fox, but his biggest thing is if you leave your belt or you leave your gi top or you leave your pants or something at the gym, there's a penalty, and you either have to bring him a bottle of really cheap, shitty McCormick's charcoal filtered vodka, or you have to bring him a 6-pack of Mickey's grenades, and then he keeps those in the fridge at the gym. And every once in a while, when we get done training, we'll bust out the Mickey's grenades, trying to solve the riddles and shit,
Oh man, I think the nastiest malt liquor I've ever had was OE.
Yeah, it's bad,
and I've drank a lot of them. It's just It really isn't about what you're drinking; it's who you're drinking it with. And if you had some broke ass motherfucking homies like I had, yeah, we drinking a lot of OE together.
I drank OE too, man. It was like kind of the hip thing where I was living when you were like 17, a bunch of white kids in suburban Omaha. You know, you're like, man, we're drinking Old English because we were listening to Tupac records and stuff.
Oh, Omaha, huh?
And we wanted to be like, yeah, West Omaha, drinking Old English with my buddies, you know, out in the suburbs. It was just, it was just a rite of passage at that age, I guess, because when you were young, you couldn't afford, like, I think we were all in the same boat when we were 17. None of us had a dime to our fucking name.
We might have had a job, but no money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're putting that money in your gas tank or whatever it was. So we were all drinking the same cheap crap at that age.
Oh, man. I remember in high school, the beer then was either Busch or Natty Light. Those were the two beers that were available. And I remember my grandfather drinking Meisterbrau and Schlitz every now and then. I remember the first sip I ever had of Meisterbrau. That shit was disgusting.
I don't think I've ever had Meisterbrau.
Like Motley Crue was photographed with it a whole lot back in the day, and that's where they got their logo. That's how they kind of adopted the spelling of their name with the umlauts and things like that. Like Meisterbrau is just such nasty beer.
Meisterbrau's giving me a stomach ache, and I've never tried it. I can already feel the bubble guts coming on from Meisterbrau, and I've never even touched it to my lips.
Oh man, I shit my guts out the first time I had it. I mean, just expect it.
I remember
human consumption.
I remember when my grandfather passed away. Actually, God bless his soul. My grandpa loved to drink the white cans with the black beer. The generic beer, yeah. That and Old Milwaukee. And when he passed on, I think I was recently 21 at the time, and I was over there with my roommate, and I went over to help my dad clean out the house, and my dad's like, "Now we're gonna clean out that refrigerator in the garage." He's like, "Now I'm guessing nobody wants the beer," and I was like, "I want the beer." So I took like 6 or 8 cases of just the beer and the Old Milwaukee back to my apartment, and we had a party on my grandpa that night. Just had a bunch of people over and drank a bunch of crappy beer, and it didn't matter. You're right. It's just about the people you're drinking with, man. That's all it's about.
I remember Kink. I was on the run from the police years ago. And Kink, oh yeah, jail sucks.
This episode is brought to you by Big Fish Bail Bonds, Wichita's #1 bail bondsman, serving Wichita and Sedgwick County. You can call 316-262-4100 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have your loved ones wake up at home. Sprout was saying jail sucks. Continue.
So while I was on the run from the police, Kink knew where I was, and he came by to where I was at, and he brought this bottle of whiskey. He goes, "No, I know it ain't Jack, but we're gonna drink this bottle because it ain't about what you're drinking; it's who you're drinking it with." And we choked down this nasty ass whiskey. I forgot. I think it might have been 10 High. Have you ever heard of 10 High whiskey?
10 High, yeah.
Oh my god! The next day, it felt like somebody kicked me in the fucking stomach, like a mule just kicked me, like. Yeah, just bad, man. Just real bad. It was not good for my guts. That shit was not good for one's soul.
Did you get angry and violent when you drank it?
No.
Oh, I see, man. Like the thing with me is when I drink real cheap whiskey, for some reason, I tend to turn into a high school girl. I get like real sentimental and emotional.
You turn into that basic bitch.
And yeah, I get white girl wasted, and I start flipping shit. So I've been trying to stick with the better stuff. I mean, I got a job. I should be able. I gotta try and get something a little more, because again, as you get older, your stomach knows the quality too.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck ass. I recommend no one ever buy and drink 10 High. If somebody gives that shit to you, you dump that shit on top of their head. All right,
you unfriend them in real life, not just Facebook.
If somebody gives you 10 High whiskey, they are not your friend. They are your enemy. They are trying to hurt you. They're trying to hurt you physically. And like I said, this stuff is not good for your soul. It's just not. It's nasty. Gross. So, hey, man, guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It's been a whole lot of fun. It's been a while since we haven't had a guest, and it's been a while since we've been on the air, a couple of weeks. So thank you guys for tuning in, man. It's really important to us. And don't forget to tune in here every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which Dusty and I are now officially on at the same time. So that's good. And Dusty has a show coming up. Let the people know what's going on, where you're playing soon.
It's the Crown Uptown Theater here in Wichita, Kansas. It's all ages. The cover is only $3. It's September 1st at 7 p.m. Doors are at 6 p.m. If you're in the Wichita, Kansas area, I would appreciate it if you made it out. This is my first time at a venue this size. It's a huge opportunity for me, so I'm going to plan on not squandering that. I hope you guys can show up, show out, represent Wichita music, and I hope to see you then. What do you got?
Well, I am playing in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Badass Renee's on September 3rd. Showtime's 8 p.m., no cover. And then the next night I'll be in Ark City, Kansas at a place called One More. So check that out. 9 o'clock, no cover. And then on Saturday, September 5th, I'll be playing at the Elbow Room in Wichita, Kansas with Cody Moore. So you guys should show up for that. The show starts at 8 p.m. And then on my birthday, September 12th, I'll be at the Scene Rock Bar at Kansas City, Missouri, September 12th. So hope to see you guys at any of our happenings. And
we need to get some stuff on the books, too. We haven't played a show together for a while. Ebony and I, we got to stretch our shit out again.
Right.
Let the people know what's happening.
Straight up. Oh, and something else, man. I got to tell my son, one of my 2 sons, Evan, happy birthday. He'll be 19 years old tomorrow.
Right on. Happy birthday, Evan.
Yeah. 19 years with that little guy on Earth. And he ain't managed to piss off anybody. He's doing really good. He's done me and his family proud. So I love you, son. Have a happy birthday. And don't get into no trouble and don't do anything stupid.
That's great advice from your father. Listen to him, Evan.
Proud of you. All right. Oh, okay. So I'll be in Colorado for your 3 shows next weekend. I'm planning on being. Well, I'll see you there, and we're gonna be drinking and having a good old time. Oh, thank you, Candace.
Thank you, Candace. Appreciate you,
man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share our page. Yo, fat kid, drop that beat.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought in a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arms. To display for assault, to disgrace in its arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water, left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn. If the crown fits, wear it, the crown fits. If the crown fits, wear it.